Hello everybody, Paul here. I wanted to talk really quick about just an experience that I had that's pretty common lately in my life. I've been having some problems with my truck for over a year or so. It was under warranty when it started to happen. And I explained the problem, and I'm not a mechanical person or whatever, but I explained it to the guys and talk to them about what was going on, and they do something and it would never really fix it, and it's been from before the warranty was over that this happened. Well, finally I've got somebody to realize and to understand that it's a problem, and now they're telling me it's somewhere $2,000 to $3,000 worth of repairs on something that should have been under warranty as far as I was concerned. So I went into the service manager's office today and we were discussing it, but just kind of interesting, kind of stand and observe of what was going on in my energy, because I started off and I had this like fear, and it's like I don't know where I'm going to come up with $3,000 to fix my truck, but my truck I need to be able to drive around and do my kid stuff and that kind of stuff. So it's tricky, but so I'm sitting there in this kind of like fear of, okay, I'm going to lose my truck, or this isn't going to work out, or whatever, and I'm feeling it in my body, and it's just like tight and angry and frustrated, that all this kind of stuff. And I kept digging down and just watching myself and feeling what was in my body. And instead of going into that anger and walking into the room with the service manager all pissed off and whatever and assuming the worst and all this kind of stuff, I just started kind of trusting and starting to feel why did I have all this kind of stuff, and how I hadn't been respected, and how they hadn't listened to me, and all this kind of stuff. And just kind of kept forgiving it and releasing it and letting it go. But it was like a full body sensation. I can still feel some of it. It's in my heart and in my neck and in my throat and just all this stuff. And I just kind of took a deep breath and kind of let that energy be there. Said, I'm not gonna go in with this energy, because nothing's gonna work out doing that way. And so I went in and sat in the guy's office, and everybody was friendly and everybody's nice. There was 3-4 guys there and me, and he started to explain to me that it didn't show on the paperwork and all this kind of stuff, how often I complained, and I described it as brakes and all this kind of stuff, but I didn't know how to mechanically explain it until they finally offered a guy to help me drive in the vehicle and go for it. But the technicalities of what was going on doesn't really matter, but it's the trigger that I was going through in my body, and I was reliving experiences from my past and being in a dealership and dealing with service people and the costs of owning a vehicle and all these kind of things, and I could just see them as old energies that were just replaying. And if I dove into them like my body wanted to, which was the comfortable but really awful way, then really I just got stuck in that energy, and there was no reason to be stuck in that energy anymore, and I didn't want to be part of that energy anymore. So I just observed it and thanked it, and it went well. They're going to go back and see if they can get me some discounts, and I have trust in the universe that's going to be possible, and some way it's going to figure itself all out. But instead of that doom and gloom of, okay, I'm going to lose my vehicle and all this kind of stuff, I just kind of sat in a new energy of, okay, these guys are doing their job, and I can't blame them, and they're not being assholes, and as long as I'm not being an asshole, they're going to be not an asshole. And just starting to respect the people and the situation they're in and the roles that they have. And I could see that, okay, a service manager has all these people kind of trying to blame them and all this kind of stuff, and just respecting and loving and sitting with a loving feeling in my heart was huge, because it made the kind of discussion go well, and they're going to see what they can do for me, and I'm really grateful for that. But I invite you to look into everything that's going on in your life. Okay, you've got something going on with your spouse or your kids or somebody at work or whatever. Just step back and kind of look at what's going on in your head, and are those stories that you're saying that's making your chest tight and all that kind of stuff even real? Are they based on last times that this happened and expectations of how and all this kind of stuff? And I think you're going to be really surprised. The more you can kind of step into your trigger and understand that you're having some of this stuff and it's not bad, and you're not a bad person because of it, and it's normal, then a calm comes into you, and when that calm comes, outcomes just turn out to be better in my world. And anyways, I'm looking forward for that in this. I'm not sure where the money's going to come for all this kind of stuff, but I know the world isn't there to try and make me stuck in my home and not be able to have a vehicle, and I could really, really get into a really bad place really quick if I let those energies exist or build in that vibration, and I'm not. It's like, no, I'm learning something out of this, and something beautiful is going to come out of it. Right after that, I went to a registry's office, and this old guy beside me, his truck wouldn't start, and we spent 15 minutes cleaning the battery posts and all this kind of stuff on his car. It was so beautiful and nice, and I just felt so much love in my heart for being able to help somebody and having all the tools and the right thing. And he would have been kind of hosed and had to get a tow truck and cost him a whole bunch of money, and I'm just kind of giving back to the universe because it feels so right. And that was the old way. When I grew up, that was the old way. Your neighbor had a problem and something broke or whatever, you just took the few minutes to do it and not rushed off or whatever. And he was so grateful, and it could have been a way different outcome. So start looking for that in your life, I'm saying, and the same thing's happening for you, and hopefully you can see the magic in it. And that's what I'm starting to see. So hopefully this resonates for you, and I'm wishing you a great day. I love you all, and we'll talk again soon. Thank you. Bye.